So welcome to the first episode of In the Owner's Garage. Eric, a good buddy of mine, is my guinea pig for the very first episode. And we're going to be going over his GasGas EC300 two-stroker.
Yeah, 2023. It's the last version of what they did with TPI fuel injection. So it's simple. You just put gas in the gas tank and oil in the oil tank and go rip it. My first two-stroke, so I didn't want to mess with carburetors. I didn't want to mess with oil ratios. I just needed a dummy-proof bike, and this was the one for me.
Quick question about your riding history. Are you just getting into riding, or have you been riding bikes for a while?
So this will be my second full season of riding trails, riding, you know, dual sport style, little cross country, little single track. I don't have a favorite. I like to just get out of the house and go ride. So it's basically what friends are going and doing what trails, and I'll just link up with them and go do that type of riding for the weekend.
This isn't your only bike then?
No, I have two bikes. Two
bikes.
The other bike is it's a Husqvarna 350 4-stroke, but it's been converted to a supermoto.
Oh,
so
very cool.
It's my go to work bike, ride around town bike. Maybe I can't get to the dirt, so it's a little more fun with the supermoto wheels for in town. But that bike actually started as my first trail bike. So I rode that for a while and then realized most of these guys are recommending a two-stroke if you're going to have a dedicated trail bike. So I went for the two-stroke.
So you've owned the bike for over a year now, correct?
Yeah, a little longer than a year. Yep.
Just so the viewers have an idea, how tall are you, rider weight, just kind of basic info?
So I'm 6'3", I'm 200 pounds, but you know, you throw a bunch of gear on, 220, 230 maybe if it's a long day of riding. So to make the bike work better for me, you know, you got to go up in spring rate.
Okay.
They're set up for like 175, fully kitted out, you know, geared up and everything. So I actually went up 2 rates so I could ride a little higher in the travel and keep it a little stiffer. K-Tech valves in the fork, keeps it from diving. That's probably the most important thing, is getting your suspension set. Everything else really comes down to, like, every time I would go ride, I would realize, oh, X, Y, or Z would have made that ride better. You know, I took a long ride one time and I kept having to get my phone out of my backpack to look at my map, so I got a handlebar bag. You know, and the phone kept dying, so I added a charging port so we could have maps the whole time. The bike is basically a stock bike, besides for protection, skid plate, hand guards, you know.
And I'm sure a lot of two-stroke riders out there are curious, how many hours on the bike, and have you even done a top end yet?
Oh, no top end, no minimal maintenance on these. 85 hours and 1,400 miles. Yeah, I mean, your oil changes probably every third ride. You know, some people do them every ride. I don't really push this bike hard. I use it as more of like a two-stroke dual sport. I do love single track and I will go do it. But if I go out for a day, I could easily ride 60 miles, and sometimes half of that is on regular dirt roads, just to do a bit more exploring. I really like just getting out, finding new places. Like today, for example, we're up on this trail that is so close to where we live and we've never even been here. So just the exploring side of it is what I prefer, really. And that's why I tend to put higher hours and higher miles on my bikes. Sticky tire in the back, and that's kind of the standard. This is a Shinko 505. Yeah, cheater they call it. What else do we have on here?
Are these aftermarket, these guys?
I have some guards, because it's just one more thing to not give you a day of being stranded on the trail. So
and it looks like they're doing their job.
Yeah, there's a front one and there's a rear one. The skid plate.
So they match.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the lower fork.
The lug guard,
guard. Oh, sweet. What company are those from?
Company here called Optimized Enduro.
Optimized Enduro.
And there's a handful of
It looks like
brands.
You also have the radiator guard. Okay.
I will say, probably my second ride on this bike, not used to it, uncomfortable, you know, crashing left and right. I actually fell on the left side and I pushed the radiator back and it collapsed the radiator. It lost all the coolant. So I had to put a new radiator on it at like 10 hours. Luckily it was a cool day. You know, I didn't overheat or anything. I was pretty close to the vehicle. So no big deal, but when I did the radiators, I put the covers on. Bulletproof designs. The skid plate is AXP. It's a full linkage. You know, it covers everything all the way back. So I don't have to worry about braking a linkage or gouging where my bearings are or anything like that. So yeah, the skid plate, the silencer, and the handguards were like
handguards. Okay.
They were like the three things that I got the day I got the bike. Everything else was an evolution. I get a lot of these parts from like Colorado-based companies like Slavens. Pretty cool. You need a part, you pretty much get it in a day or two and you're back to riding. So not a lot of downtime with these bikes. They're easy to work on, and if something does go wrong, you can fix it really quick and just keep going. And if you put the stuff on from day one, I mean, you could drop this bike, hit the skid plate. The only thing that's really exposed still is my pipe. It's got some small dents, but it's not in any way like messed up. So, and then when that does really get folded in, it's just an excuse to get a better one, something cooler.
And that is the stock, right?
That's a stock pipe. Yeah, the motor and the drivetrain is completely stock.
Is the muffler stock, or is that after the FMF?
Yeah, the silencer I put on because it's got the spark arrestor in it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The factory bike does not have a spark arrestor, so that was kind of a mandatory thing. And then one other thing that's pretty unique, and it's easy to do where we live in Colorado, is it is plated street use.
Yeah, I gotta show off this plate. Check this custom plate out.
So that's a real plate. It allows me to get on fire roads. It allows me
to show this off really quick. Dreadneck Moto.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to throw a link down to Eric's Instagram. And you actually have a YouTube as well. You throw some stuff up.
It's a variety of stuff. I do a lot of welding projects, and I used to do rock crawling and four-wheel drive stuff. So if you scroll back, you'll see some of the various vehicles I've built. So it's cool to come to these trails that I used to do in a four-wheel drive and do them on a bike and just get to feel the differences, the similarities. I also used to ride mountain bikes, so it's kind of like you take your mountain bike background and you take your off-road four-wheel drive background and you put them together and you have dirt biking. And it really just made sense. I can't believe it took me so long in life to figure this sport out, because it's a lot of fun, and of everything I've tried, I think this is my favorite. And I have to give credit to you, because I found your channel and recognized that you were a local to where I live, and you were showcasing a lot of the trails that I was familiar with. And this was before I had the 2-stroke. I was still riding my 4-stroke. It was when I was completely new to this, and you really helped me get into the sport. And now we're riding together quite often, so it's pretty cool. The internet can really bring people together, and I feel like every time we go out, we meet more people, and then we just have a bigger riding community, and everyone's been so friendly. And obviously not everyone has the luxury of being like 20 minutes away from you, but I lucked out, I guess. Yeah.
Want to fire it up for us?
Yeah, you can hear it. It sounds like,
hear it?
Yeah, it sounds like a 2-stroke. Yep.
Well, thank you, Eric, for being the guinea pig of this first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments below, and we'll do a second episode. And who knows who's next? I know Eric will be in an upcoming one as well, because we're going to feature his Supermoto Husky. I'll catch you guys in the next one.